His actions cut him off from all those who loved him, and his lust for money made enemy of his neighbors and also made him a sinner before God. I read a story of a woman in Tennessee who was preparing to paint her back porch. In order to protect the floor around the room, she had laid strips of adhesive tape that had the sticky stuff on both sides, and she was going to lay down a drop cloth over the floor and secure it with the tape. Having finished putting all the tape down, she went in to retrieve the drop cloth, but when she got back, all the tape that she had carefully prepared was gone. It was all gone. She was mulling it over and looking around at what could have happened, and she saw something moving in the yard. It was a snake. It was a snake. It was hopelessly tangled up in a very large ball of Scotch tape. The snake had crawled up on the back porch and eased itself onto the tape with the adhesive on both sides. And sensing the tape was sticking to his skin, the snake put up a terrible struggle trying to get free. And in doing so, it pulled up every bit of tape from the floor. The harder it fought, the more tangled it became, wrapped up in a cellophane prison until it was totally captive. You know, a lot of people are like that snake. A lot of people here are like that. I was like that snake. The more you struggle, the more you get wrapped up into it. Instead of realizing the situation and correcting your course, you react impulsively. Sooner or later, you're all going to wind up like that snake. You don't know which direction to go. Such was the case for Zacchaeus. Money was his Scotch tape. And it had him. And it had him till it swallowed him up, all completely in it. Life is dead to this man. He was a dead man with a lot of money. No life around him whatsoever. Zacchaeus literally was up a tree. Zacchaeus was ready for a change in his life. And in Luke's account this morning, Jesus calls him by name. Can you imagine someone you've never met before and would expect to meet in the position that Jesus was in, and then hear your name being called by this person? And he hurries down the tree. Maybe because he thought his hearing was gone. He came down the tree. Did I hear you right, Jesus? You want to come to my house? This is quite a contrast from another man Jesus had encountered, the rich young ruler, when Jesus told him to do exactly what he's telling Zacchaeus to do. But the rich young ruler went away sad because he could not let go of his wealth. He could not let go of his worldly possessions. Was Zacchaeus ready for a change that was about to come? Most likely, because of the deadness in his life compared to the life that he saw in Jesus. Because his life was no prize. He had a great balance sheet, but he had no warmth in his life. No warmth, no love, nothing. The man was up a tree, and Jesus called him. I'm your house guest today. No one ever wanted to go to this man's house before. Zacchaeus was a dirty word around town, and especially among respected Jews. So now here's a rabbi from Galilee just itching to hang out with him. Just itching to hang out with him. Jesus said he'd come to save the lost sheep of Israel. And if anyone was lost, it was Zacchaeus. He was lost. Jesus valued people. All people. So much so for he would die for them. Jesus came to seek out and bless even the worst, the most vile, disregardable pukes of humanity, and he wanted to bring them the salvation of God. There comes a time and an opportunity for each and every one of us to put an end to the dead life that we carry around with us. Like Zacchaeus, we must decide on what we truly desire. What are we truly thirsting for in life? Are we going to trust Christ, or are we going to trust ourselves? I'm going to leave you with one final story. I know it's a surprise, but I'll tell you a story anyway. There's one time there was a blind man who was invited to a wedding of one of his good friends. And the couple decided to get married in a village church that was well known for its very picturesque qualities. As the couple left the chapel, the mother of the groom said to the blind man, "What a pity you could not see the chapel. It is really very, very lovely and such a beautiful garden." And she later responded this to some mutual friends at the reception. And the blind man just shrugged his shoulders each time, and he changed the subject. But he thought to himself, didn't she hear the bells? Did she not hear the bells? For the bells to him, they rang before the ceremony and after the ceremony, and they were magnificent. And he was astonished at their tones and patterns, each chime that was made. And for him, they created a moment of joy and sacredness. And the blind man concluded that the mother of the groom may have seen the lovely chapel, but she missed the sound of the bells. With all her senses, she only experienced part of the beauty. Zacchaeus was blinded by selfishness, but that did not keep Jesus from seeking the whole person. Jesus wanted to stay with Zacchaeus, and to miss part of the story is to remain in the dark, because Jesus had to go to his house because that's what Jesus was all about. Zacchaeus became symbolic recipients of God's grace towards humanity. There's no limit to God's grace, people. None. There's hope for the greedy. There's hope for the powerful. So the next time you find yourself up a tree, Jesus may just be coming to stay at your house. You stayed at mine.